Hi guys, Jay here for Full Time Devils. This is the daily transfer update. Now, the latest sort of transfer news is not transfer news as such, but the main story today regarding Manchester United and transfers has been that David De Gea looks like he's on the verge of signing a new deal. Now, Simon Peach, think it was in the Independent, has reported that David De Gea will become, once the Australian tour or the pre-season tour is over, when United get back to Old Trafford or back to Manchester, he'll sign a new deal worth 350 grand a week, making him the highest paid goalkeeper in the world and one of United's top earners. Ollie's mentioned David De Gea in his recent press conference. He said that, you can probably see the quote there, he said that, yeah, he will play tomorrow against Leeds, and hopefully we can agree a deal with David, as I've said many times. I mean, listen, we know what happened with David De Gea last season. He had a great season up until the last, 2 months or so, shall we say? Like much of the United team, he really tailed off and he had a couple of stinkers against, he had one against Chelsea where he made a bit of a mistake, Arsenal. And it was a bit ironic because he'd got us, some of his goalkeeping has got us into a position where it looked like we were going to get top four, and then a couple of mistakes cost us top four. But that aside, he's been a fantastic goalkeeper for Manchester United since he arrived, was it 7 or 8 years ago, 8 years ago? Is one of the top goalkeepers in the world. And when United have been struggling over the past few years, he's always been one, other than those months that I mentioned, who's been able to hold his head high. He's won player of the year more than almost any other United player. It's been a bit almost embarrassing to see a goalkeeper successively winning player of the year, other than last season, of course. So, makes a lot of sense that United wants to sign him. We know that there's been interest for him. Apparently PSG have been in for him, Real Madrid and Barcelona, all the usual suspects have been linked with him. Obviously, some of those are more realistic than others, but it seems as though David De Gea is going to put pen to paper. Now, this is a good move for United. It's a position that we don't want to be messing around with. We'd love to see David De Gea stay. I think most fans will agree on that. I think it was Gary Neville that claimed that perhaps the contract situation had distracted him towards the end of last season. I don't know about that, but getting him signed to a long-term deal, just one less headache for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to worry about. Now, the main sort of story that everyone's been talking about in terms of transfers has been Harry Maguire. Now, earlier today I saw something on Sky Sports where they were saying Man City were willing to match United's offer of 70 million for him. But what we're seeing, that most of the reports indicate that United are in the pole position to sign him because we're willing to pay more than 70 million. Leicester want more than 70 million. Although we've not bid more than that at the moment, the papers are saying that we will go a little bit higher, and there's a sort of deal to be done there. Sir Alex Ferguson is known to be a fan of Maguire. I read that earlier. Jose Mourinho was a fan of Maguire, although people probably don't care about that as much as they do about Fergie's opinion. It's a deal that looks like it's going to happen, and one that we know needs to happen. We need a centre-back, whether you're a big fan of Maguire or not. We need someone like him. I've spoken about it extensively yesterday, so I won't keep going over it. But Maguire to United is the most likely transfer to happen this summer of the ones that have been reported. Talking to centre-backs, Victor Lindelof has been linked with a move to Barcelona. Now, at first you may think, really, Lindelof, Barcelona, why? Why not? He's had a great season in a struggling team at times. He's been the one player that I think can really hold his head high. He's consistently got better. I thought as the season progressed, he got better and better, where a lot of his teammates actually started badly, then had a purple patch and then tailed off. Well, he kept his levels quite high. And you look at him and you think he's young, he's already got quite a lot of experience, he's played a lot for Sweden, obviously he was at Benfica, at Manchester United. He's a Champions League player, he should be playing in the Champions League. So it doesn't surprise me that someone like Barcelona, or a club like Barcelona, would be interested in Victor Lindelof. For me, he was our player of the season last season. I know Luke Shaw voted for it twice, the players' player and the fans' player, but I thought Victor Lindelof was our most consistent player and our best player. He's spoken about the speculation. He said, I'm very happy to be a Manchester United player and I'm really looking forward to this season. I'm very excited for a new season to start. So that's my answer when he was asked about speculation. I'm very happy here. That's what you want to hear. The last thing we need to happen is our best defender, certainly our best defender last season, leaving. We get one area addressed, right back, with Aaron Wan-Bissaka coming in, and then Victor Lindelof leaves. That'd be a bit of a disaster. So I know we've got lots of centre halves. We've got, I think, 6, is it? We've got Eric Bailly, Rojo, Smalling, Jones, Lindelof, Tuanzebe, of course. But we need to keep it to Lindelof. So I'm glad that one has been put to bed. Now, one player who looks like he is going to leave is Romelu Lukaku. This has been going on now for some time. We know he wants to go. We know we don't want him. The only sort of sticking point has been not even the transfer. I think it's been how the transfer is paid. They were looking to pay it over, I think, 3 seasons, Inter. Then they were also looking at some sort of loan and then a sort of obligation to buy deal. United weren't into it. The latest reports today suggest that a deal can be done, or that Inter are prepared to pay even £60 million and bonuses that will bring the figure up to roughly what United paid Everton for Romelu Lukaku. Now, that to me makes a lot of sense. I think United should be getting our money back for Romelu Lukaku. I know some people won't agree, but I think, you know, he's a proven goal scorer. He's still relatively young. He's got a few seasons left in him. So I think, yeah, I don't think we should be taking a financial hit on him. So if they're willing to pay the money we got for him, and it's not all in sort of its and bits and, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there, they're willing to give us a big chunk of it up front and then the rest over the next couple of years or in bonuses, I'd go for it. I'd definitely go for it if I was Manchester United. We know he wants to leave. My only concern there is we've not been linked with any strikers, and it looks as though it's highly unlikely we'll buy another striker. I know we had the little talk of Ben Yedder. That sort of fizzled out a little bit. If Lukaku goes, I think we need to buy another striker, and I don't think that'll happen. Some people were talking about this earlier on the podcast, were suggesting that maybe Alexis Sanchez can come good. And I know that sounds crackers to say for a player who's been playing top-level football for a decade, but you never know. And it looks like he's going to stick around. He's not going to go anywhere. We know the wage he's on. We know what's expected of him. We know he's not lived up to that expectations. Will Ole give him another chance? We'll have to wait and see. I actually think Sanchez will stay, and I think he may get a chance maybe in the Europa League, and if he shines there, then who knows. But yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to bring another striker in, and it looks like Lukaku's going to go. The interesting thing to see with that one is, if the money does come in, does that enable us to go all out for a Bruno Fernandes? Again, we'll wait and see. Guys, I'm going to shoot off in a minute. There's not a lot to report. I'm just going to check out the comments. Someone says here, we need to get rid of Sanchez. Again, yeah, you could argue he's not really worked out. He needs to go. But the big problem with that is his wages. No one's going to pay him the wages that we offered him. If reports are true, from what we know about his wages, it's a structured deal. So it isn't £500,000 or whatever that's been mentioned. But it's around the sort of 350 grand mark. And then it goes up to almost £500,000 if he scores or if he plays and all the rest of it. So it is a lot. And then you look at it and you think, Who's gonna pay that? Not many clubs will pay it. Not many clubs will pay it for the sort of form that Alexis Sanchez is in. So I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he will end up staying. Someone else here, Andrew Boo, saying going to be hard to have good players without Champions League. I think we've sort of so far with Daniel James and Aaron Wan-Bissaka brought in players that we can get. We know we could get them. It wasn't a Champions League, wasn't a sticking point. And I think there are players out there that we can get that will come despite the fact we've not got Champions League. We've been in this position before, don't forget, where we haven't had Champions League football, and we were still able to bring in some pretty big players, the likes of Ibrahimovic, the likes of Paul Pogba. So it's not always been a major sticking point for players coming to Manchester United. You're still coming to a massive club, you're still going to be on good money, and if Ole can sell it to you, you're still in a club that's got a lot of young players and that hopefully should be back in the top 4 very soon. So you shouldn't be without Champions League for too long. Someone else here is saying we need Bruno and McGuire ASAP. I'd love to see Fernandes come. Don't know if that's going to happen. Gone a little bit up and down with that one. It's 1 minute it's on, 1 minute it's off. We'll have to wait and see. We're hearing that one deal is being done by United at a time. So if the McGuire deal is the one that's being negotiated at the moment, then nothing's going to be happening with Bruno Fernandes. Someone else is here who said Fred will be very bad next season. We almost forget about Fred. I'm guilty of it as anyone. Fred, obviously a player that Ole gave a chance to, had some good games for us as well, played well against Paris Saint-Germain, played well in other games as well. Could he get a chance next season? Could he be more important next season? I think he will be, because obviously we've lost Ander Herrera. And yes, we know that Ole likes Scott McTominay, but I still think that we're going to need Fred for his experience, so I think he will get a chance. Someone else has said, let's buy Declan Rice. I'm on the fence for that one. I know I shouldn't be. I should give you one opinion or other. I'm a little bit wary. I think you'd end up overpaying for someone like Declan Rice, and I think the jury's still out on whether he's going to be at the very sort of top level. We'll wait and see. Obviously, the talk was that we were going to go for Sean Longstaff. Newcastle apparently want 50 million. That seems to have put us off, and I'm not surprised, because 50 million for someone like Sean Longstaff, who's played, what, 10, not even 10 Premier League games, or around that mark, is a bit of a joke. Guys, I'm going to leave it there, because obviously there's not a whole lot of new updates to give you, but we've covered the main ones there. We've obviously the David De Gea news, the Victor Lindelof update. As always, get involved in the comments. Get involved if you know of any transfer news yourselves, let us know. We've got Adam and Howson are over in Australia. They'll be giving you updates as well. So check us out on Instagram. Check us out on Twitter. Don't forget to subscribe. The subscribe button is in the bottom right, I think, of the screen. You can see it. And guys, thanks for watching.